In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get company domains from company names. Now, where is this going to be useful? Let's say you've scraped a list of companies from a directory that is available online, from an online forum, websites like Fair, which is where we've gotten this one from, any of the million other places where you can find information about a company's name, but you don't have their websites. This could also be blog posts, this could be listicles. There are several untapped data sources that only list a company's name, but not their actual website, right? So it is in situations like this where you can use Clay, and without expending a single credit, you can find domains for all of these companies with up to a 90% accuracy rate. So I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like in this video. The first thing you want to do is go into Clay, click add column, choose waterfall here. Data type will be a URL because we want company domains. Click add action, search for Clearbit, find domain from company name. Now this is a free API call, it doesn't cost anything. Choose Clay manage Clearbit account, map the company name column to the company name, select the output step to be domain, click save waterfall step. Now if you were to use the regular domain from company step, which is facilitated by Clay, and this is the one, Google find domain from company name, this will use 1 credit per row, and you can't use your API key here, so you have to pay 1 credit for any row that Clearbit does not find. Now this method has a benefit that it'll first use the free API and then waterfall it with the paid one, but we don't want to pay 1 credit just to get a domain for a company. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to instead search for use AI, or I'm going to search for Claygent, and then we're going to have Claygent search for the company and find us the company name. So let's search for Claygent, choose this one. Now it shows 1 credit here, but if you use your API key, for example, I'm going to select here, the use case needs to be Claygent. The model can be changed to use your own API keys. I like to use 4.0 mini because that's the most accurate one. Make sure you choose your own API key here like we have done here. So now it won't cost you any credits. Now you need to write in a prompt here, and this prompt is what will determine the accuracy of your output. You also need to make sure that your prompt excludes common false positives that show up in results. So I'm going to copy and paste the prompt, and this prompt will be available to you in the description. You can copy it from there. Okay, so this is the prompt you want to be using. And the prompt is really simple. It's just asking you to make a Google search for this company's name, return the URL of the first website or the first result. Now, the thing to consider here is if these companies are not in your country, you can also ask it to make a different search query, right? So for example, you could say website Sweden. All of these were Swedish companies. So you have the ability to make these changes. Now, obviously, all of this assumes that by searching for Pastel Cosmetics UK website, you can actually get their website, which you can, right? So this method will work. And these are the only 2 steps you need here. Anything else that you put in here, you could have heard about complicated setups that require using Serper.dev. Getting your API key from Serper, using that to run a similar Google search, or even using Clay's API, Clay's internal Google tool, which costs you 1 credit per row. You don't need to do any of that. Instead, you can use your own GPT key, and it's going to cost you less than $0.001. This is the maximum cost when I actually run this. Let's run this for a few rows. So let's run it for 10 rows, and you'll realize that it costs you almost nothing. So right now I have 4753 credits available. Let's see how many this consumes. And in here, you can also see where it's actually using the GPT. So for most of these, it was able to find websites using the Clearbit API, which is free. In one situation, it had to use the Claygent. This result, it costed us $0.00041, which means even if you were to run 10,000 of these, like you were to run this entire table, it would cost me $4 to run 10,000 rows. But we also need to keep in mind that a lot of these will be obtained for free using the Clearbit API. So now I'm just going to run this whole thing, run the entire waterfall for everything, run all rows that haven't run or have headers, and that's going to give me all the domain names that we want. Now, once I have the domain names and the company name, I can use find email to find email addresses. I can perform, various other operations like trying to find the products on their website, trying to find if their website is optimized, trying to look at some of their ads, and create more variables that I can then use, refer to in my cold emails or in my LinkedIn messages, and make my messages more effective. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you a bonus tip, and this is very similar to what we're doing here using Claygent, which is if you wanted to find that company's LinkedIn, here's how you do it. Use AI, choose model Claygent, change this again to use your own API key. I like 4.0 mini. And your prompt is going to be something like this. Make a Google search and choose the company name column, company name, LinkedIn. So this is step 1. Step 2 is return the first URL or that contains the word LinkedIn in the URL string. So click save and run 10 rows. You'll find LinkedIn for many of these companies. Some companies might not have a LinkedIn, which is okay. And I'll show you it costs you almost nothing to get these LinkedIn URLs. For example, this one costs 0.00043, right? So it's super cheap. And once you have the company's LinkedIn URL, that allows you to get even more information. For example, if I were to copy this, go here, I can now look at the employees of this company, and I can perform further enrichments. I can identify the people that I want to be reaching, and I can do all sorts of things with the company's LinkedIn. So all you need is an existing Clay subscription. You don't need to spend any credits. Like you see here, we still have 4753 credits. 0 credits wasted. You get all of this information for free, right? So if you have questions, leave them down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.